Well, he's an Iraq War vet. He's a father of 7, and right now he is sitting in a private prison facility facing deportation. I'm talking about Marlon Parris. Parris came to the country in 1997 from Trinidad and Tobago. He received a green card, which he renewed in 2007 and also in 2017. And that green card was all he needed to put his life on the line for the U.S. military. He served in the Army for 6 years until he was discharged with PTSD and brain trauma. Now, things took a turn for Parris in 2011. A nonviolent drug charge led to prison time. But ICE agents promised he would not be deported due to his military service. They even gave him a letter saying so. Well, since then, Parris's family have been able to travel outside the United States without issue, except for an October 2023 trip that ended with his green card being confiscated. And you fast forward to 2 days after President Trump took office, and that's when the arrest happened. His wife says when she got to the scene, she was simply told, he's on a list, we have orders, and he's on a list. And she wants to know, why now?
I am having to visit my husband through a glass window. And I do not know when he's coming home.
Common Defense, a national veterans group, is demanding Parris's release, his green card, and a promise from President Trump to protect service members from deportation. Joining me now is the organizing director of Common Defense, Jojo Sweatt. Jojo, thank you for joining. What is the status of Marlon Parris's case?
Currently, he has been sitting in a detention facility in Florence, Arizona, and he has a bond hearing tomorrow morning and another hearing that looks to be scheduled at the end of the month. So right now, we don't know much until this bond hearing occurs tomorrow.
Now, you don't need to be a citizen to join the military. And sometimes service can even speed up the immigration process, I understand. But as a non-citizen, are you promised anything else through your service?
You are promised this pathway to citizenship. And then there is not really a system that allows that service member to have the necessary checks and balances to ensure that process is indeed happening for them. I actually was a Marine Corps recruiter from 2003 to 2007 when we were actively recruiting for a lot of folks to volunteer to serve in the war in Iraq and in Afghanistan. And that was a big selling point, was that we were issuing 2-year contracts to join the service, and that there was a pathway to citizenship provided to those members. I've enlisted folks who are on temporary status, LPN status, a variety of statuses that the United States is tracking, and they're able to join the service.
So given that then, and he, I think, was deployed 3 times to Iraq, if I read it correctly. He served, he was released and discharged, I'm assuming honorably.
And he maintained all of his records and his status. And so he wasn't even somebody who, was trying to get anything more, right? He joined on this status. He renewed his green card multiple times, even after the incarceration. And so it just doesn't make any sense as to why he would be picked up now and in this situation. And it's a tragedy because he is not the only veteran who has been deported. In years past, this has been a problem under many administrations due to our immigration policies here in the United States.
Now, I understand he did serve 5 years in prison back in 2011 for a nonviolent felony drug charge. He was also discharged from the Army with PTSD and brain trauma, unfortunately. What do you say to those who might argue, well, the felony conviction somehow discounted the service that would have protected him?
There's nothing that discounts a service of a person who raises their right hand and swears an oath to our country's Constitution, is willing to sacrifice their life. We have a judicial process in which people can serve if they do commit crimes. And we are in America have those processes to allow the law. It doesn't mean that then after you serve your time that we throw you away in society. And in fact, in the veteran world, there is a program across the nation called Veterans Treatment Court, where we advocate for programs in the court system to capture veterans who have not retained services that they need that help their mental health conditions, their financial situation, whether they're homeless or not. And these are problems that we've had after being at a terminal war for 20 plus years. And so just because folks make a mistake, he's paid his penance and he still served his country, and we still need to honor him and give him his citizenship and make sure that he's safe and that he can continue to thrive just as he has since being released from prison. He is a stand-up citizen of our community, a small business owner, and like you said, a father of 7 children who are now without him.
I feel for his family and just commend his service, as we do with everyone who did raise their hand and say, I want to protect this country. Jojo Sweatt, thank you so much for helping us to understand what's happening to him.
Thank you for having me and letting us share about the deported vets issue.